Give it up for Rick, everybody, Rick. So I really appreciate all of you guys coming out here this weekend because it's a really big, important weekend. That's right, Rosh Hashanah is coming up on Monday. Who here is excited? It's the Jewish New Year. For those of you who don't follow the Jewish zodiac, this year is the year of the overbearing mother. Last year was the year of the why don't you date that nice Jewish girl you met outside? And next year is the one of the clogged artery. Because some stereotypes are true, especially with Jews and the food. The Jews love their food, but we only like the food that you cannot pronounce. Like we got rogalach, we got kugel, we got gefilte fish, we got kreplach. That's why we can't eat shrimp. It's too easy to say. I can imagine the meeting for all the rabbis deciding what food we can and cannot eat. Like, okay, what's next on the agenda? How many syllables does pork have? 1? No, we can't have it. Too easy to say. But I am Jewish, obviously, but I didn't know I was Jewish until I was around 13 years old. That's because when I was going to synagogue as a kid, where my parents took me, up at the front of the altar, I'm just going to call it the altar for all you goys out there, they had this symbol from Star Trek, the Live Long and Prosper, right up there. So, I didn't know I was Jewish. I thought I was Vulcan. But guys, it's not that much of a stretch if you think about it. I was in Hebrew school and they were teaching us to speak Hebrew. I thought it was Klingon. Because they're both throaty, with the phlegm, you gotta spit on the front row when you say it. We both Jews and Vulcans put William Shatner on this weird pedestal and don't know why. And I didn't know I was Jewish until my mom wouldn't let me wear my Starfleet Academy uniform to my bar mitzvah. No. The gold clashed with her dress, and bar mitzvahs are about the moms. They're not about us, they're about the Jewish mothers. Changing the subject a little bit, I love collecting things, but most people collect things like Pokemon cards, or hats, or kittens, or stuff like that. What I like to collect are really weird, random stories and happenstances I get into in my life with celebrities. It's a very specific thing I collect. And I'm going to get into a couple of these stories with you guys right now. How many people out here in the audience in New York are a fan of Jamie Foxx? Or at least know who he is? Yeah? Well, a couple of years ago, I was working on the movie set of The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Electric Boogaloo. And my job was to be a production assistant. Now, a production assistant on a movie set, our job is to stand on a corner and say, hey, New Yorkers, don't go this way, we're flipping a bus, and if you go in this direction, you could die. To their response, fuck you, I pay taxes, and they walked anyway. So it was 100 degrees that day, and an ice cream truck pulls up next to me. It's hot, I'm overweight, I could not get ice cream. I had to. So I was eating my delicious dessert, chocolate ice cream, which is my favorite, and who do I see coming at me is Jamie Foxx, dressed in his, I don't know if you saw the movie, his Electrode uniform with these two really big black guys. I only say they're black because I want to make it abundantly clear, Jamie Foxx does not associate himself with white people. It is very important for the story. So he's walking over, he bumps into me, chocolate goes all down my white shirt, and then he just keeps walking. He doesn't stop to apologize, he just keeps going. Then one of his bodyguards, part of his posse, he's 8 feet tall, 300 pounds of muscle, looks straight down at me and says, an Oscar-winning actor just spilled a delicious frozen dairy treat on you. What are you going to do about it? The answer to which is nothing. I've seen Django Unchained. I know what Jamie Foxx says to white people. See, they're afraid of him too, so I'm not alone. This is my last story. Okay, I'm going to ask this question because I see a lot of young faces in the audience. Does anybody here know who Mel Brooks is?
Yes.
Okay, I only asked that because I did a couple of shows last week and nobody knew who he was. So I have to ask. So I love Mel Brooks. He's a personal inspiration of mine, and to the young people over there who might not know who he is, he's a very famous comedian and director and writer of movies. So back in 2008, I went to Indiana University, And his son, Max Brooks, who's a very well-known zombie writer who wrote The Zombie Survival Guide and World War Z, he came to the school to do a talk about his book. Now we're on the same page. So he asked the audience, where would you go in the case of a zombie apocalypse? And some people said, a mall, or an island, or Wisconsin. And I raised my hand because I'm an asshole because I did read the book, and I yelled, prison! He said, who yelled prison? Stand up. Why did you say prison? Oh, because it has gates and cells and SWAT gear. Oh, you mean an abandoned prison? Because I thought you meant one full of inmates because you're kind of cute. And if I was in jail with you, I couldn't promise I wouldn't make you my prison bitch. This is a true story. Jump ahead a few years. I was living in Los Angeles, and I was a caterer, and I did catering for this big wig Hollywood party. And none other do I see across the room Mel Brooks himself. Now, I could have said anything to the guy. I'm a huge fan of yours. You're a comedic inspiration for me. But I went up to him and I said, hey, I met your son, and he said he wanted to rape me in prison. He takes a step back, looks me up and down, and said, hey, if we were in prison together, I'd want to rape you too.